Build unstoppable resilience with these powerful Stoic affirmations. Imagine this: you wake up one morning, and the world seems to collapse around you. The job you counted on is gone. Person you trusted betrays you. Or maybe it's a quieter chaos, a gnawing sense of failure, an overwhelming anxiety about the future, or the slow erosion of joy by the sheer weight of daily life. How would you face it? Would you crumble? Or would you stand tall, steady, and unshaken? Let's start here. What if I told you that the key to handling any storm, no matter how fierce, already exists within you? That resilience isn't something you need to search for. It's something you build. And today, together, we're going to unlock this power using the timeless wisdom of Stoic affirmations. I want you to picture Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. He faced endless wars, political betrayal, and personal loss, and yet, amidst it all, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This single thought holds the key to resilience, and it's where our journey begins. Let me ask you something. How much of your suffering comes from things outside your control? Think about it. That argument with a friend, the disappointment of rejection, or even the fear of tomorrow, how much of it is tied to something you couldn't fully influence? Here's where Stoic affirmations come in. They aren't just words. They're shields forged in the fire of ancient wisdom and tempered by the reality of life's challenges. Each affirmation is designed to realign your mind, to remind you of what you can control, and to free you from the tyranny of everything else. Let's begin with one of the most powerful affirmations. I cannot control what happens, but I can control how I respond. When you truly internalize this, it changes everything. Imagine a day when everything goes wrong. You spill coffee on your shirt before a meeting. Your boss criticizes your work. A friend cancels plans. Normally, these moments might pile up and ruin your mood, right? But stop for a second and repeat that affirmation. I cannot control what happens, but I can control how I respond. Now, ask yourself, what is the value of losing your peace over something you can't change? The Stoics teach us that our power lies in our response. When you choose not to let small annoyances dictate your emotions, you reclaim a freedom that many people never realize they have. Let's go deeper. Another affirmation that can transform your perspective is this: what stands in the way becomes the way. It sounds paradoxical, but it's one of the most liberating truths of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about it. What if every challenge in your life wasn't just an obstacle but a tool for growth? Here's an example. Imagine you're striving to build a business or a skill, but every step feels like a struggle. Instead of seeing the struggle as something blocking your path, what if you saw it as the path itself? What if each failure, each setback, was shaping you into someone more capable, more resilient? Let me ask you, when was the last time you embraced failure? Not as something to avoid, but as something to learn from? Now, let's ground this in action. One way to integrate Stoic affirmations into your life is by starting your day with intentional reflection. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It's not about expecting the worst. It's about preparing your mind to remain steady regardless of what comes. Here's how you can try it tomorrow morning. Sit quietly and imagine the potential challenges of your day. Visualize someone cutting you off in traffic, a difficult conversation at work, or even unexpected delays. As you picture these moments, repeat to yourself, I cannot control what happens, but I can control how I respond. Commit to facing each moment with calm and reason, not frustration or anger. When you practice this regularly, you'll find that fewer things catch you off guard. You'll start to notice a sense of calm, even when chaos swirls around you. But let's not stop there. Stoicism isn't just about enduring life. It's about thriving in it. And to thrive, you need to embrace another affirmation. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is about integrity. Seneca wrote, "The good man is invincible, for he does not enter the contest where he cannot win." When you commit to acting in alignment with your values, you free yourself from regret and self-doubt. Think about the last time you said or did something you knew wasn't right. How did it feel afterward? Did it bring you peace? Or did it add to your burdens? Living with integrity isn't always easy, but it's one of the most powerful ways to build resilience. When you know you've acted rightly, external events lose their power over you. And that brings us to another crucial affirmation. This too shall pass. These 4 words are a lifeline in moments of pain and hardship. Life is fleeting. Joy fades, but so does sorrow. When you face a storm, remind yourself, this too shall pass. Let me ask you again. How often do you allow temporary pain to define your long-term peace? Resilience isn't about never feeling hurt. It's about trusting that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will come. As we journey deeper into these Stoic affirmations, I want you to take a moment to reflect. What would your life look like if you practiced these truths every day? Imagine a life where you're no longer enslaved by what others think, where you face challenges with courage, and where you live with purpose and integrity. But this is just the beginning. In the next part, we'll uncover the deeper layers of Stoic resilience, how to master your inner dialogue, transform pain into power, and build an unshakable foundation for life's toughest moments. The alchemy of resilience, turning pain into power through Stoic mastery. Imagine standing in the middle of a storm, rain lashing against your skin, the wind roaring in your ears. Most people would run for cover. But what if, instead, you chose to stand firm? What if, in that storm, you discovered that every drop of rain, every gust of wind, was making you stronger? This is the alchemy of resilience that Stoicism offers us, not to avoid the storms of life, but to transform them into fuel for our growth. Let's begin with a thought experiment. Close your eyes and think of the most painful experience you've endured. Maybe it was the loss of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or a dream slipping through your fingers. Now ask yourself, what did that pain teach you? Did it break you? Or did it force you to grow in ways you never imagined? One of the most powerful affirmations in Stoicism is this: the obstacle is the way. This isn't just a poetic phrase. It's a fundamental truth about the human experience. Pain, hardship, and struggle, they are not detours on the path to resilience. They are the path. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about the weight of those words. Life will throw hardships your way, it's inevitable. But what you do with those hardships, that's entirely up to you. Here's a practical exercise to turn pain into power. When you face a challenge, write it down. Be brutally honest. Describe the situation, your emotions, and your fears. Then, ask yourself these 3 questions. What is within my control here? What lesson can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger? Take, for example, a failed project at work. First, the sting of failure might overwhelm you, but when you apply this exercise, you realize that while you can't change the outcome, you can control your response. You can learn what went wrong, improve your skills, and approach the next project with greater clarity and confidence. Now let's explore another affirmation that can reshape how you handle adversity. Amor fati, love your fate. This doesn't mean passively accepting whatever happens to you. It means actively embracing life, not despite its challenges, but because of them. Imagine a sculptor chipping away at a block of marble. Each strike of the hammer removes imperfections, revealing the masterpiece within. Life's challenges are the hammer and chisel, and you are the marble. To love your fate is to see each strike not as a punishment but as a step toward becoming your best self. But let's get real for a moment. Loving your fate isn't easy. When life throws something truly devastating at you, a diagnosis, a betrayal, a loss, it can feel impossible to see the good in it. This is where Stoicism offers its deepest wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Your pain, your struggles, they are the fuel for your fire. They burn away what is unnecessary and illuminate what truly matters. Let me ask you, when was the last time you looked at a hardship in your life and thought, "This is shaping me into who I am meant to be"? If the answer is never, that's okay. It's never too late to start. Now, let's talk about inner dialogue. The stories we tell ourselves shape our reality. If you tell yourself, "I'm not strong enough for this," guess what? You won't be. But if you affirm, "I am stronger than I think. I have faced hardship before, and I will face it again," you begin to rewire your brain to see challenges not as threats but as opportunities. Here's a simple exercise to master your inner dialogue. Every morning, write down one Stoic affirmation that resonates with you. Repeat it throughout the day, especially when you face difficulties. Over time, these affirmations will become your default response to adversity. One of my favorite affirmations is this: "Today, I will meet people who are selfish, dishonest, and unkind. That's not under my control. What is under my control is how I treat them, with kindness and integrity." Marcus Aurelius wrote this in his Meditations, and it's a reminder that no matter how chaotic the world around us may be, our character is always within our control. Think about this. How often do you let other people's negativity dictate your emotions? How often do you react out of anger or frustration, only to regret it later? Stoicism teaches us that the true measure of strength isn't in overpowering others, but in mastering ourselves. And this brings us to another profound truth. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca wrote these words, and they reveal a universal human tendency. We amplify our pain by dwelling on it, by imagining worst-case scenarios, by replaying past hurts in our minds. But what if we chose, instead, to focus on the present moment? Here's an exercise to help you stay present. When you feel overwhelmed by anxiety or regret, pause and take 3 deep breaths. With each breath, repeat to yourself, "Right now, I am safe. Right now, I am strong. Right now, I am enough." Notice how this simple practice grounds you. Notice how it shifts your focus from what you can't control to what you can. Finally, let's talk about gratitude. It might seem strange to talk about gratitude in the context of resilience, but it's one of the most powerful tools we have. Gratitude shifts our perspective from scarcity to abundance, from fear to hope. The Stoics practiced gratitude daily. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Even in the darkest moments, there is always something to be grateful for." Here's a challenge for you. Tonight, before you go to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big. Could be the warmth of the sun on your face, a kind word from a friend, or the simple fact that you made it through another day. Let me leave you with this thought. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about rising every time you do. It's about turning pain into power, obstacles into opportunities, and storms into fuel for your fire. But there's still one more layer to uncover. In the next part, we'll explore how Stoic resilience can lead to profound freedom, not just from external struggles, but from the internal chains that hold us back. Freedom through resilience, breaking the chains of fear, doubt, and regret. Close your eyes and imagine a life where fear no longer controls you, doubt no longer whispers in your ear, and regret no longer weighs on your soul. Picture waking up every morning with a profound sense of freedom, not because the world has changed, but because you've changed. This is the promise of Stoic resilience. It's not just about surviving life's challenges. It's about breaking the invisible chains that hold us back from truly living. Let's start with fear. Fear is one of the most primal emotions we experience, and yet it's often misplaced. The Stoics remind us that most of what we fear never comes to pass. Seneca put it best when he said, "We are more often frightened than hurt. we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about that for a moment. How many sleepless nights have you spent worrying about things that never actually happened? Here's a powerful affirmation to confront fear. Fear is a liar. I will face it, and it will lose its power over me. Repeat this to yourself the next time fear creeps into your mind. Whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown, remember that fear thrives on avoidance. The moment you face it head-on, it begins to dissolve. But let's take this a step further. The Stoics didn't just teach us to confront fear, they taught us to understand it. Fear often arises when we're overly attached to something, whether it's a job, a relationship, or even our reputation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't a morbid thought. It's a call to clarity. When you realize that life is fragile, you start to see what truly matters. Let me ask you something. If today were your last day, would you live it differently? What fears would lose their grip on you if you knew they didn't truly matter in the grand scheme of things? Now, let's talk about doubt. Doubt is the silent thief of dreams. It whispers, "You're not good enough. You'll never succeed. Why even try?" But here's the truth. Doubt is nothing more than a story we tell ourselves, and like any story, can be rewritten. One of the most liberating affirmations to combat doubt is this: I am capable of more than I know. Every step I take is proof of my strength. The Stoics believed in the power of action. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." In other words, don't let doubt paralyze you. Take one small step, and then another. Each step chips away at the illusion of doubt, revealing the truth of your capability. Here's an exercise to quiet the voice of doubt. Write down a fear or insecurity that's been holding you back. Then, list 3 small actions you can take to confront it. For example, if you doubt your ability to succeed in a new career, start by researching the skills required, taking a small course, or reaching out to someone in the field. Action is the antidote to doubt. But what about regret? Regret is perhaps the heaviest chain we carry. It binds us to the past, replaying moments we wish we could change. But the Stoics teach us that regret is wasted energy. Seneca wrote, "No man was ever wise by chance. Mistakes are not failures. They are lessons." Here's an affirmation to release the grip of regret. I cannot change the past, but I can shape the future. I forgive myself, and I move forward. Forgiveness is not just for others. It's for yourself. When you let go of regret, you free yourself to grow. Here's a practical exercise for releasing regret. Write a letter to your past self. Acknowledge the mistakes you've made, but also recognize the strength you've gained from them. End the letter with a commitment to yourself. I release the past. I embrace the present. I move forward with purpose. Let's pause here for a deep question. How much of your present happiness are you sacrificing because you're chained to the past? What would it feel like to finally let go? Now, let's turn to freedom, the ultimate goal of Stoic resilience. Freedom doesn't mean escaping life's challenges. It means mastering them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Think about how much of your life is spent worrying about things you can't control. The weather, other people's opinions, the outcome of events. What if, instead, you focused all your energy on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your character? Here's an affirmation to cultivate inner freedom. I am the master of my mind. I choose my thoughts. I choose my actions. I choose my life. This is the essence of the Stoic dichotomy of control. It's not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. When you focus on what you can control, you reclaim your power. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter, and you channel it into what does. Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates this. During a brutal war, a Stoic philosopher was captured and tortured. Despite the pain, he refused to let his captors break his spirit. When they threatened to kill him, he responded calmly, "You can harm my body, but you cannot harm my soul. What would it mean for you to have that kind of inner freedom? To know that no matter what happens, your spirit remains unshaken? Here's a final exercise to anchor this freedom in your life. At the end of each day, reflect on 3 things. What did I do today that was within my control? What did I let go of that was beyond my control? How did I grow stronger as a result? When you make this a daily practice, you'll notice a profound shift. You'll stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the architect of your life. As we come to the end of this journey, remember this: resilience is not a destination. It's a practice. It's the daily choice to face fear, doubt, and regret with courage. It's the commitment to turn pain into power and obstacles into opportunities. It's the unshakable belief that, no matter what life throws your way, you have the strength to rise. And now, I leave you with one final question. What will you do, starting today, to build the unstoppable resilience that lies within you? The answer is yours to discover.